Welcome to the Hot Chicks Write Hot Books podcast with Jen Foster and Melanie Johnson, where authors give you their inside secret tips on how to be a successful best-selling author.
Hello, this is Jen Foster, and I am here today with Anutza Bellissimo. And we have to excuse Melanie Johnson. She isn't able to be here today on the podcast. She has some family commitments and lots of graduations and tons of things happening in May. But we excuse her. But I just want to introduce everyone to Anutza. And she's author, The Highly Effective Executive, and it is a #1 bestseller. So she is an extraordinary executive, and she's a career coach. And she is also a seminar leader, a speaker, and a trusted consultant for busy executives. She is a certified anger management facilitator, and she founded the Stress and Anger Management Institute in Manhattan Beach, California in the year 2005. She's the creator of the SAMI Pillow, and she's the host of SAMI RADIO and the author of A Woman's Guide Transforming Anger and Stress into Personal Power and Success. And she's been working with individuals and organizations since 1999. So, Anutza, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Oh, wow. I think you just did a great job. Excellent. Yes. So my name is Anutza Bellissimo, and I am CEO and executive coach of the Stress and Anger Management Institute. I'm also the author of A Woman's Guide to Transforming Anger and Stress into Personal Power and Success, and The Highly Effective Executive, How to Reduce Conflict, Inspire Action, and Make a Difference in Your Organization. So since 1999, I've worked with organizations to minimize costly executive behavior and to also improve or engineer productive employee performance. I have had the pleasure of coaching many types of high-profile individuals and also been provided the platform to deliver high-quality training and lectures to organizations such as Caltech, Cisco, UCLA, L3, Boeing, Raytheon, Office Depot, Western Tech, E-Entertainment, organizations like that.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, it looks like you've done a lot already. I love it. And so this whole time I thought you had only been author of one book, but you're actually author of 2 books. So when did you write your first book?
So I wrote the first book in 2006. I believe I became, to grow in my field through, persistence and smart work and supportive mentors. But in 1997, 98, I was working through a personal, my own career transition, which led me to life purpose and career consulting as a profession. So this gave me the opportunity to master my natural talents and skills, and I began taking on a lot of work, any work that I could find, and opportunities. So I kept with it. And this was really the forefront of my first book. And I began speaking to groups of individuals who were finding themselves amid layoffs in the airline industry. And I was specifically helping women. They were in transition. And so this was a natural fit for me. Along with coaching and consulting, I decided to introduce the Stress and Anger Management Institute to my practice, or really Stress and Anger Management to my practice, which then led to me opening the Stress and Anger Management Institute in 2005, creating the SAMI Pillow, which is a stress and anger management tool, and hosting the SAMI Radio show in Los Angeles. Then from there, I went into my book in 2006. So it's fast forwarding. And this is where I wrote A Woman's Guide to Transforming Anger and Stress into Personal Power and Success. It was a co-authored book. And so it was my first anthology, and it was exciting and certainly a new learning experience. But it seemed like a natural addition to the life purpose and career consulting and the stress and anger management, encompassed as one.
Yes. Well, and were you always in this field, or when did you become a coach or consultant? When did this all start taking place?
That happened around the year 2000, 1999, when I started speaking, and after the Life Purpose and Career program, I decided that was really something that I love to do, and it seemed to really nurture my needs and my skills and talents, and so I really took that on. And then after the book in 2006, around 2008, the History Channel featured my work through one of their documentaries titled The 7 Deadly Sins. And this documentary aired for several years in a row. And that provided me a new platform. But it was great, and it went hand in hand.
That's awesome. So because of your book, because you wrote your book, you actually were picked up by the History Channel. That is awesome.
Yeah, it was a good piece. It was a good piece, definitely. So if we fast forward to now 2015, where I knew I wanted to write, well, actually, I guess you could backtrack to 2014, because I started writing in The Highly Effective Executive in 2014, and it came out in 15. So I knew I wanted to write another book. I know that I have more books in me, but right now I just focused on The Highly Effective Executive, which is based on my many years of experience in the personal and professional growth and development arena. So, which can be glamorous and gruesome all at the same time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. I noticed common threads in the individuals I had the honor of coaching and training. And there are shared goals and expectations in the work, being self-respect, self-esteem, authenticity, assertive communication skills, but really self-edification. And so this is how I began to think of my book, The Highly Effective Executive, because there really was a story to tell and a process to share with others.
Yeah. So when did you know you wanted to start writing a book? Like you say, you wrote one before for women. When did you know? What was the point when you were like, okay, yeah, I need to write a book, or I want to write a book?
That's a good question. I think since I was a little girl, I knew that I would share. Since I was a little girl, I knew that I either wanted to be in a book or write a book. I wanted to be on the screen or behind the camera. One of the two. I knew that I had in me that desire to share knowledge and experiences. And so I think it was something that was really in me since I was very young. But I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember exactly how it came about. But actually, it was a women's networking group that introduced me to the idea of self-publishing and publishing a book and being part of that whole community. So that was really exciting, and I was just elated at the opportunity to not only share my experiences, but help others learn and guide them from that, in hopes that they would avoid some of the pitfalls or in want to improve and do better.
Well, and when did you, once you said, okay, I'm going to write this book, how did you go about starting to write the book? Like what were the steps, or what are kind of the things that you did to get your book started?
So I really did. I had to choose. I had to make a decision. I had to cut off other options. The option of continuing to ruminate over it and really just get into action. So becoming an author or an expert at anything, I don't think is an easy fix or a get-rich-quick scheme kind of thing. It takes dedication and commitment, and it's a choice to honor your passion your true potential, and I believe your life's work, possibly. So the first priority is to surround yourself. This is how I did it, to surround yourself with those who make you a better person. So inspiration and motivation, I believe, are found in high-performing groups. So I joined a group. I found a good match. And it took me some time, I believe, because there's a lot of options in our community. There's a lot of options in that arena. And I did look into them and research. And it took me some time to find some ones that I felt were in alignment with my goals and my busy schedule and my needs. So that certainly had a lot to do with it. I had to surround myself with inspiring and motivating people. So, right, you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good first step, to make sure that you're surrounded by the kind of people who will inspire you and have the same kind of goals that you have. And like you said, you had the women's group and they talked more about writing books. And so surrounding yourself is definitely a really good first tip. So did you do the traditional writing where you sit down and write your book, or did you do like some of the other authors who we've interviewed who actually transcribe their books from a annotation or from a video? So how did you actually create your book?
Okay, good question. So once I found that environment, it gave me ideas and new ways of thinking about how to perform the process, which actually was great in theory, but for me, didn't work in the process. I did start out with writing and then went to dictating my book and then came back to writing. And I found that the reason why that process worked for me was because it gave me the opportunity to hone in on my life experience and expertise in my profession in a way that had me feel the process. So as opposed to just speaking it, writing it really helped me in that process, and making time to clarify what I wanted to say. So really, I guess, becoming clear in the process of writing in my journals, making notes on my phone, dictating into voice recorders. It was really a little bit of everything. But for me, the process of actually writing it was helpful. And then I could come back and dictate some things and pop in things here and there that I felt were beneficial to the experience or the story in the book. And this made it simple for me to use my notes and to really organize the thought process of it.
Yeah. So what would you, go ahead.
Say again? No, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, what would you tell our listeners, what would be your top 3 tips for, how to start writing your book? Or what would you say are the top 3 tips for them?
Excellent question. So my top 3 tips for getting your book started would be to begin by recording and documenting your knowledge. Your inspiration for your book, the information that you want to share. Start with what you already know and are passionate about, so that you have the fire there and it's exciting. My second tip would be to schedule time to organize. Schedule time to organize your thoughts and information. And I think that was one of the most exciting pieces, was to work through my information, decide what's going to go where and what's the order. I had a lot of material already because I had been in practice for a while, and I've been training and teaching and coaching for so long, but I had so much material that I wasn't sure where and how I was going to process it. It was almost too much information. So I had to designate, was this that book, or is this information another book? Then that happens a lot because we're, you know, so filled with information and knowledge that you want to separate that. So scheduling time to organize your thoughts and information is number 2. So you can design the feel of the book. And number 3, I found the most interesting part and the most useful part was to research my categories and other experts in my field. This gave me the opportunity to learn about new categories and new options as to where my book might fit in, and who else is writing about my topics and their point of view.
Yeah. I think those are all really good. Really good tips. Really good tips. So what would you say, so now you've gone through the process of writing 2 books, what would you tell our listeners are the do's and don'ts of writing a book? So what kind of things did you do right, and what kind of things did you think that you could have done different, or what they should not do for sure? So the do's and don'ts.
Okay, so let's go with the don'ts first.
Okay.
Don't write about something you have no interest in. Number 1. Number 2, don't compare yourself to others. Number 3, most importantly, but not least, is don't wait. I think that is one of the pieces that I still get hung up on, is the thought process around it, and wanting to perfect the process. I really like processes and organization. And so don't wait, just do something all the time. So my do's are, do surround yourself with those who have knowledge and expertise in writing and publishing, because that experience is priceless.
Yeah.
You really want those individuals. And, you know, I always say, if I'm the smartest one in the room, I'm in the wrong room. So I want to, you know, you want to surround yourself with those who do have the knowledge and expertise in writing and publishing. And then number 2 is surround yourself with ambitious visual aids and individuals. So what I mean by that is I would always place things strategically in my environment to encourage me and support me in the process of moving forward towards my goals. And I would surround myself with people that I knew were ambitious in the same arena and moving and doing things so that I could be inspired by their motivation. Does that make sense? Okay. And then number 3 was do some writing every day to create the habit of writing. Now, I didn't write every day, but I would write or dictate every day. So it sort of became an obsession. For that point in time. And it was a very interesting experience, this last book, because it was completely mine. It was my baby. And I had some great resources and help with it, but it was my experience, and I went at my pace, and I pushed myself. I set myself some ambitious goals, and I reached them. But I believe that had I not set those goals, I would still be in the process of writing my book. So, I mean, I really feel like I left the important don't as the number 3, and then the important do is the number 3. So those are really the most, important do's and don'ts in writing your book.
Yeah, I think those are all really, really good. It's really important to do like what you said. I like the last one with journaling and writing every day. I know for me, I've always tried to journal every day, but it's usually about what happened that day or what's going on in my life. But at the same time, I could also journal or write, more of the, parts of the book, or journal and write different things every day. Or like you said, even just, dictate every day into your phone or record it somehow. Whether it's even doing a video like this, you can video yourself on a Google Hangout just talking, and then save it and keep it private so that people, you can use it later, but it doesn't have to be. It's just stored on your YouTube account, and it's another great way to just journal every day. I like that a lot.
It is.
So
and some days,
next question, what's that?
I said some days I just didn't feel like writing, but I would just scribble, make notes instead of really having a whole writing experience. Just make notes and just release that energy of not wanting or feeling in the moment to do that, and it would just build upon the habit.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good. So tell us, now that you've written both books, what have you done, or because of your book, what has happened besides, you said the channel picked you up, but what has happened since your last book, The Highly Effective Executive? What things have happened to you?
I find that it's more of like what I'm doing than what's happening to me. I do know that it increases engagement, and the public eye view, but I use my book to promote my practice and expertise in my field by using it to network, using it for corporate engagements and things of that nature. So it's given me a fresh platform to focus in a specific direction.
Yeah.
I also like to use my book now to post excerpts of my book on social media platforms to keep my content in the public eye and to keep me visible and engaged with my community. And then I think the thing that I use, what happens for me most with the book is the opportunity to encourage speaking engagements. So that's really something that I enjoy, and teaching. So those would be the top 3 things that I've done with my book since it's been published.
Awesome. And what kind of things, you mentioned a little bit social media, what kind of things do you do for marketing for your book? Besides social media, is there any other things that you use?
I have found that press releases always work really well for me and my business. So I love to use press releases because it minimizes the amount of work I need to do to get the information out and to get the visibility that I'm looking for from the organizations that I'd like to work with. So number 1 would definitely be press releases. That's my first go-to. And the second is personal branding platforms. And, there's experts and organizations, companies that I have to help me with that. But then the third part is video and using excerpts from the book, using the book just visually, any way that I can to create some video content or take something from my book to create video content so that others have a feel for my personality and my topic and how I teach and train.
Those are really good. Do you do any other, besides marketing, have you ever done like any book signing parties or anything like that?
I haven't. That would be fun. I haven't done it for this book. In fact, I think I did. I guess I could somewhat consider them book signing, but they're not specifically for that because I'll provide a presence at health fairs for organizations, and then I bring the books there, and that's an opportunity for book sales and book signings.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's fun.
the way you describe it sounds much more fun.
Well, yeah,
I'm going to have to try that.
I've had a couple
I'm sorry,
of book
what did you
signing.
say?
I have had a couple of book signing parties, and I have helped some of my clients do some book signing parties. And I actually have one coming up in the next week for one of my clients. And so it should be a lot of fun with door prizes and books for sale and featuring, like you said, feature content of your book and that kind of stuff. So it should be lots of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. So tell me, is there like a funny story or any kind of story that something that has happened because of your books, or something where people have recognized you as an author or anything like that? What kind of any funny stories that have happened to you or that you can tell us?
I can't think of any funny stories.
Mm-hmm.
It might come to me after I hang up, but right now I can't think of any funny stories.
No problem. Well, if you think of it, you can let me know.
Okay.
So why don't you tell our listeners, why they should write a book? Why you think that, why this helped you as an author in your life and in your business, and why you think it would help them?
Okay, that's a really in-depth question. I have some answers for that. Mm-hmm. I think, first of all, it's an excellent educational experience. I mean, mm-hmm. I've learned so much through the process mm-hmm. in becoming an author, and mm-hmm. it really is priceless. Yeah. The knowledge and skills I've gained throughout the experience, mm-hmm. not to mention the great relationships I've developed. Mm-hmm. That is just priceless. Yeah. But, if you're a business owner or you would like to start a business around your book, mm-hmm. You can offer valuable content. You can mm-hmm. include interesting assessments and evaluations that help others improve, mm-hmm. These certain areas in their life. And it's so rewarding. But it also gives you the opportunity to have access to different and more people by offering strategy sessions and just valuable content. But I would say that becoming a best-selling author, writing a book, all of this is just so life-altering. It really is. It's life-altering, and it's exciting, and it's fun. And it's in a sense, part of the legacy. Mm-hmm. And I just love it. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you? What website can they go to? And I'll actually share my screen and go there. Okay. So go ahead and name the website. What's it called?
It's my name. So if you see my name here in front of me, it's AnutzaBellissimo.com. Mm-hmm. And
so here it is
there it is, yeah. And you'll find book bonuses, you'll see services, you'll find just useful information on what I've done and how I can help you, and what our organization can do for you.
Great. Well, I encourage everyone to go out and buy the Highly Effective Executive, available on Amazon today. And they can get that in an ebook or the print version, right?
Correct.
Great. Well, we're so excited that we had you on our show today. We want to tell all of our listeners that they too can become an author. And Melanie and I have many workshops that we hold in our hometowns where we help you become a best-selling author and give you all the tips and tricks to do that. But we also have a retreat that we're doing in June. And I think I've told you a little bit about that, Anutza.
Yes.
And we're also doing one in October. So we're doing one in June that involves just women. And you can go to hotchickswritehotbooks.com.
I love that.
And this website right here, I'm going to turn off the video because there's going to be a video that plays here in a second. Oh, it looks like it's already turned off. Good. So it might play in a minute. But you can go here and put in your name and email and learn all about our retreat in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. And when we get there, we're going to go on excursions. We're going to write a book. We're going to stay in a private villa. And we're going to get to know one another. And we're going to become best-selling authors. So Melanie and I are going to take you through the process and help you become a best-selling author. So we hope you can come and join us. And here's some of the books that I have helped publish last year and a couple of Melanie's. But we want to help you become a #1 bestseller as well. And so go to hotchickswritehotbooks.com. And we're really excited for you to become an author. And again, thank you, Anutza, for being on our show today. And we're excited for your books and for all of your successes. So thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
For more information, you can visit our website at hotchickswritehotbooks.com, or you can text your name and email address to 832-572-5285.